before you go watch Heroes Rising? Well, this information is coming from a My Hero Academia special chapter that was only released in Japan inside of a special volume of My Hero that features all sorts of information about the movie, like character profiles, stats, lore, and more. This chapter is marked as My Hero Academia chapter, and it has 3 question marks after that. The title of the chapter, though, is League of Villains Undercover, and it honestly just serves to set up Nine in a really big way. If you remember, Nine actually did make an appearance in the manga briefly before the movie was even announced in Shigaraki's speech to the Doctor about all of the things that he wants to destroy. In the bottom left of that shot, you can see Nine from the back, even though at the time we had no idea who or what that could have been. Well, this chapter serves to show us a few things. First off, it shows us how Shigaraki is familiar with Nine at all, because he has to have seen him before to think of him in that vision of all the things that he wants to erase. But also, it establishes who Nine is, what he can do, and why he's involved with the League in the first place. It's really all just set up for what we're going to see in the early stages of the movie, so I think you can watch this video without worrying too much about being spoiled on the movie, and actually I think this chapter serves as some much needed supplementary material, so let's get to it. Sticking with the theme of being about Nine, the chapter itself is 9 pages long. On the opening page, everything is black. Suddenly, we see a storm tearing apart a dock, with boats and helicopters going flying as the high-speed winds and rains whip them around. It's like a typhoon hit, pure and utter chaos. But nestled into a comfortable little nook between 2 buildings across from the dock was a man that seemed to be completely unaffected by all of this. He wore a large jacket of some kind, black loose pants, and looked like some sort of traveler or homeless person who should be taking shelter from the rain. Instead, this guy is sitting with his hands together and his arms over his knees, letting the wind push back his hair, letting the rain soak his skin. He didn't even mind if trash or debris flew nearby. The storm couldn't shake him. We hear a voice. "Storms calm my heart." As the winds continue to build up and cause further and further destruction, the voice continues. "This strange world will be strewn around like mud and dissolved." We cut to a shot of the one and only Dr. Kyudai Garaki, otherwise known as Dr. Daruma Ujiko, to the League of Villains, and he's sitting in a chair with his hands folded, questioning someone. "Despite having a mutation causing cell death, you managed to survive without anyone knowing. A true marvel." We see who he's talking to, and of course, it's the young man who sat amongst the storms. The doctor keeps speaking. "For the Quirk enhancement and body augmentation experiment, you've been selected as a subject." The man we know as Nine stands there with his sweater open and his hair tied up in a bun, with some still spilling out over his forehead and behind him. He looks more put together here, but there's a coldness to him. His eyes seem emotionless, and an awkward silence grows in the room as he just stares forward intently at the doctor, waiting for him to move on. "But why did you accept my recruitment?" "You offered power. To cure yourself." "Do I have to answer that?" "You do. Beyond health, wouldn't any other reason be suspicious? Keeping secrets will disqualify you as a test subject." Nine's blank face somehow seems to get even more blank, and he points upwards and begins explaining his quirk to the doctor. "I control the sky." That's godlike power. However, I live crawling on the ground. The moment someone's born into this world, everything's already been decided. It doesn't matter how much power they've been blessed with. Society crushes them. All the same. We see a young child with white hair that's probably 9, and there are a few panels that hint at an extremely sad childhood and young adult life. With nowhere to run and rejected by society, very much like Shigaraki, it seems like Nine is a victim of circumstance and a victim of a society that would turn their eyes on a child in need or even make light of it because a hero is surely going to save the day. Those same people will cheer on and root for the heroes as they hunt people down who are often only put in those positions that they're in because of terrible circumstances and the failure of society to keep them from falling any further. In a way, it's like society creates both the heroes and the villains, and then they turn around and set them against each other, playing favorites with one side over the other. Well, what does it feel like to be one of those people that was just a normal person with hopes and dreams, who faced a tragic series of events and was let down by everyone at every turn? What does it feel like to have to commit crimes to feed yourself and your friends? To have to run because there's no place for you in the world? And for the people that everyone else looks up to be your oppressors who won't allow your existence? It's extremely tiring, and we see various members of Nine's crew on one page going through various things in their respective backstories that we'll go to more in another video in the future. We see Chimera running through an alleyway and knocking over some trash to escape heroes. We see Slice sitting alone in an absolutely destroyed and destitute looking room. It looks like she's been living in some sort of abandoned home, but not like it started that way, sort of like it's fallen to ruin. She's sitting next to her bed with an empty look on her face, but noticeably her hair looks amazing, like it's the one thing that's being cared for here. Finally, out on the town amongst the lights of the usual nightlife, we see Mummy fighting off a group of guys all at once, literally swinging one around by the jacket and sending others flying. He actually sort of looks like Sanji here and has an intense look in his eyes, like he'd do anything to finally have enough of this meaningless fighting.
People who don't get what they deserve, it's what I see everywhere I go. I've seen it all. It's a mistake. A mistake.
We see Nine with his hair down, almost completely covering his face, as he walks through a zoo. He walks through the crowd and something catches his eye, stopping him completely in his tracks. He stares, and we see what he's focused on. A large family of strong, powerful lions behind the cage, with people pointing at the creatures and presiding over them. We see him from behind as he stares into this exhibit, and it's obvious that Nine feels some sort of kinship with the lion. He was born strong, but not lucky enough or privileged enough for his strength to matter, just like the caged lion that's supposed to be the king of the jungle.
It's like lions and monkeys. Which one is stronger? In this world, the strong is ruled over by the weak. To return things to the way they should be, I need power. Power to rule as the strongest.
This is nonsense. Crazy nonsense.
Yes.
What a dangerous, dangerous fellow.
On the next page, we see a large chair and the machine built around it that the doctors prepared. He equips Nine with some headgear and all sorts of high-tech attachments for his arms and whatnot. That's all meant to clip into the machine and make use of whatever function it has to enhance someone's quirk.
Body and mind. You seem to be healthy.
What this experiment will do, not even I, the test subject, was told. I didn't think too deeply about it. A convenient guinea pig. Thinking of it like that, it's fine.
After this is complete, you'll be moved into a large culture capsule to stabilize your cells.
On the last page, we see Nine shutting his eyes before going to sleep in the machine, but his last thoughts are of his friends. Of Chimera, of Slice, of Mummy. They care for him, and he cares for them as well. Whatever this experiment holds, he hopes to come out of it on the other side to create a new world for them to live in, where they can finally be rewarded for how truly amazing they are.
No. To create a world that we desire, all will be destroyed.
Wrapping up the chapter, as Nine rests in the machine, we see Shigaraki walking through the doctor's hallways, and he does come upon Nine's room. He looks into the room from the really big window as he walks by, taking note of what he sees. But what's interesting to note here is that Shigaraki is actually accompanied by none other than All For One himself. This tells us that this scene actually happened quite a while ago, or at the very least it happened before All Might and All For One's battle at Kamino, because All For One is still here in his wheelchair, oxygen masked up. It's nice to see Shigaraki getting to spend some time with All For One, I guess, since that is his master, but him seeing Nine here is of course to further set up why Shigaraki might feel like Nine is one of those things that he wants to destroy, like we saw in his multiple page spread. Nine wants to be the strongest. He wants to rule over everything and everyone, specifically to create a new world. These ideals line up pretty closely to Shigaraki's, but knowing Shigaraki and his childish nature and seeing his reaction to Chisaki trying to take over, you can only imagine what Shigaraki's opinion on this plan of Nine's will be. To find out if that comes to a head at all, and also to learn more about Nine, his crew, and what's next for him and his awesome weather controlling power in the story, make sure you get your tickets for My Hero Academia the Movie 2 Heroes Rising, available now wherever you can buy tickets. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this description and retelling of Nine's special one-shot, because I don't think it's going to get officially translated here, and the movie is coming soon, so why not put the information out there and make it available to you guys. With that said, that's all I've got for now. I will be back to talk about Nine and everything that I think is going on with him and what I think it means for the future of this series soon, but I'll save that for next time. This is Pineapple, I love you guys, peace.